Welcome back to my channel, Adventures in America. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn, and for today's topic, I'm going to discuss the latest U.S. travel restrictions for all travelers. Based on the latest U.S. Department of State advisory, an increasing number of airlines are canceling flights into and out of Russia, and numerous countries have closed their airspace to Russian airlines. U.S. citizens should consider departing Russia immediately via commercial options is still available. The U.S. Embassy reminds U.S. citizens that the Department of State's travel advisory level for Russia is at level 4, do not travel. For your information, here are the requirements for U.S. travel. All U.S. citizens and U.S. permanent residents are exempt from COVID vaccine requirements, so you won't need to present proof of vaccination. However, these are the requirements for U.S. citizens and permanent residents. You must present a one-day negative testing or proof of recovery from COVID within 90 days of flying. These are the requirements. However, if you are a non-U.S. citizen, you will have to present proof of vaccination. First, you must be fully vaccinated and you must have a one-day testing. Or you must be fully vaccinated and you must have proof of recovery from COVID-19 within 90 days of flying. Let me provide the requirements. If you are a non-U.S. citizen, you must be fully vaccinated. However, there are exemptions. Children below 18 do not need to be vaccinated. Also, if you are covered by specific exemptions. For non-U.S. citizens, you must be fully vaccinated and you must have one-day negative test for 2 years old and above, or you must be fully vaccinated and must present proof of recovery within 90 days of flying. You must present letter and proof of COVID infection. For non-U.S. citizens and non-immigrants, here are the covered exceptions. That individuals are persons on diplomatic or official foreign government travel. Also, children under 18 years of age. Also, persons with medical contraindications to COVID-19 vaccine. In addition, participants in certain COVID-19 vaccine trials, persons issued a humanitarian or emergency exception, also persons with valid visas except B1, B2 who are citizens of foreign country with limited COVID-19 vaccination. Also members of the U.S. Armed Forces or their spouse or children under 18 years of age. In addition, sea crew members traveling with a C1 and D non-immigrant visa, and persons whose entry would be in the national interest as determined by the Secretary of State or Secretary of Transportation. Now, if you fall under any of these exceptions, you will be required to attest that you are exempted from the requirement to present proof of being fully vaccinated against COVID-19. As a requirement, you will be tested with a viral test 3 to 5 days after arrival, and you will also self-quarantine for a full 7 days, and you will also self-isolate if you test positive. Even if you're exempted but you plan to stay in the U.S. for more than 60 days, you will have to attest that you will arrange to become fully vaccinated within 60 days of arriving in the U.S. or when medically appropriate unless you are too young. There are many questions being asked if antigen test is accepted in the U.S. The answer is yes. Antigen test is accepted in the U.S. as long it is a viral test and the test is taken within 1 day. Let me repeat, all U.S. passengers must present either a one-day testing or proof of recovery. All air travelers, regardless of citizenship or vaccination status, will be required to show a negative pre-departure COVID-19 viral test taken the day before they board their flight to the United States. For example, a passenger whose flight to the United States is at any time on a Sunday would need to have a negative test taken at any time on Saturday. Let's talk about the one-day testing requirement or the window time to take the test. The one-day period is interpreted to be 1 day before the flight's departure. However, the CDC uses a one-day time frame instead of 24 hours to provide more flexibility to the air passenger and aircraft operator. By using a one-day window, test acceptability does not depend on the time of the flight or the time of day that the test sample was taken. What types of tests are acceptable? For example, antigen tests, are they acceptable? The answer is yes. There are several types of antigen tests. Rapid antigen test is acceptable. Also, viral antigen test. There are also other types of antigen test, and please take note of these wordings. What are the types of tests that are acceptable? Nucleic acid amplification test or NAAT. So for example, RT-PCR test is an example of a NAAT type of test. Reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction RT-PCR test. Also, there are other tests that are acceptable. So let me provide you several examples. Isothermal amplification. There are several examples such as NEAR. So please take note of the wordings TMA, LAMP, HDA, CRISPR, or SDA. These are all acceptable tests. Let's talk about rapid tests. Rapid tests are acceptable if they are a viral test that meet the requirements. Self-tests are acceptable. You can use a self-test, sometimes referred to as a home test, that meets the following criteria. There are several criteria. The first criteria is that the test must be a SARS-CoV-2 viral test, nucleic acid amplification test, NAAT, or antigen test. So you have two options with emergency use authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or the relevant national authority where the test is administered. Second requirement is that the testing procedure must include a telehealth service affiliated with the manufacturer of the test that provides real-time supervision remotely through an audio and video connection. So some FDA authorized tests include a telehealth service may require a prescription. Also, the telehealth provider must confirm your identity, observe the sample collection and testing procedures, confirm the test result, and issue a report that meets the requirements of CDC's order. Airlines and other aircraft operators must be able to review and confirm your identity and the test result details. You must also be able to present the documentation of test results to U.S. officials at the port of entry and local or state health departments if requested. Let's talk about the information that must be included in the test. You can either present a paper copy or a digital copy. So it doesn't matter if it's on paper or email or a certification. First requirement, the type of test must be included, indicating it is a NAAT or antigen test. Second requirement, entity issuing the results such as a laboratory, healthcare entity, or telehealth service. So this must be indicated. The third requirement is the sample collection date. A negative test result must show the sample was taken no more than 1 day before the flight, or a positive result for documentation of recovery from COVID-19 must show the sample taken was taken within 90 days before the flight. Fourth, information must show identifiers such as your full name plus at least one other identifier such as your date of birth or passport number. And then you must also indicate the test result. For those passengers who recently recovered from COVID, Proof of recovery within 90 days of flying can be presented. People who have recovered from COVID-19 can continue to test positive for up to 3 months after infection. CDC does not recommend retesting within 3 months after a person with COVID-19 first develops symptoms of COVID-19. If you have had a positive viral test on a sample taken during the past 90 days and you have met the criteria to travel, you may travel instead with your positive viral test results and a signed letter from a licensed healthcare provider or a public health official that states you have been cleared for travel. The positive test result and letter together are referred to as document of recovery. Here are the specific requirements. First, a letter from your healthcare provider or a public health official that clears you to travel must have information that identifies you personally that matches the personal identifiers on your passport or travel documents, and the letter must be signed and dated on official letterhead that contains the name and address and phone number of the healthcare provider or public health official who signed the letter. If you recovered from COVID but you were not able to present documentation of recovery, you will need to have COVID-19 viral test result from a sample taken no more than 1 day before your flight to the US departs. If you recently traveled in the Philippines or the US, please share your travel experience below and let me know your thoughts regarding the travel restrictions. Thank you guys for supporting my channel, and if you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.